Hey everyone, welcome back to Blue Ridge Silverhound. I'm your host Sean. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday morning. So there's no better time to talk about half dollars than right now. As we've seen here in the last 30 days or somewhere thereabouts, we're beginning to see a little bit of an uptick in the price of silver per ounce. All right, so with that comes the reaction to the overall just marketplace. We're seeing coin roll hunters trying to source more half dollars in order to kind of obtain some of those what used to be very widely available but are just now seldom seen 40% and 90% silver half dollars to kind of take advantage of where this market is going currently in precious metals. However, there are a bunch of different other dates that nobody typically pays attention to. Someone will open up a roll of half dollars looking for silver only, but they're overlooking all the other stuff. And believe it or not, there is a lot more money to be made from some of just those other outliers of dates from 1971 all the way up to 2001 or 2002, right before the U.S. Mint had converted over to a what they call an NIFC mint-only release half-dollar program. So the date that I wanted to focus on today is actually a very interesting one for a couple of reasons. It's the 1977 Kennedy half-dollar, and this particular date holds a little bit of sentimental value to me because number one, my wife was born in 77 and I'm in 78, so it's right around that time. So there's a lot of special just kind of sentimental whatever that I hold, but it doesn't exactly help you guys out in determining if this is indeed a date that you should pull out. Well, there are a few things that you have to take a look at. Okay, the first thing that I wanted to focus on for this particular date are the business strike coins, the Philadelphia and Denver. Okay, so these are coins that traditionally are produced and are made to circulate into everyday society. Okay, these were commonly used to buy that can of soda or to make change for something else over here. So these are coins that are made to circulate. So we're going to focus first of all on both the Philadelphia and Denver minted coins. The first of which, the Philadelphia minted coin, has no actual physical mint mark on the coin, so don't even bother looking. Okay, the mint mark is usually reserved for a space above the date, but just below the tip of Kennedy's bust on that coin. So the U.S. Mint made quite a few of these. 43,598,000 total pieces were produced by the Philadelphia Mint, and you would be remiss to not take a look at the actual grade kind of metrics when it comes to this particular coin, because people do love submitting really nice condition coins to a PCGS or NGC in the hopes of fetching one of these high top population grades that are usually very coveted amongst the registry set participants that you see on both of these websites. So PCGS has assigned 2 examples at the highest possible grade of a Mint State 67 plus. This is a grade right here that's kind of tough to achieve, because if you look at the 1977 or any 1970s dated coin, there are a few things that have plagued this particular decade of Kennedy half dollars. Okay, you have a lot of weak strikes, you have a lot of coins that even right out of the mint exhibited a lot of planchet nicks and just bag marks. Just the way that these coins were overall handled wasn't conducive to high quality. Okay, in addition, a lot of the coins within this time period lacked kind of that booming, flashy luster that you would associate on a new release. So 67 plus, I feel like, is like on any other date, maybe in the late 80s and into the 90s, this is actually not even the tip of the iceberg. But for the 70s, this is par for the course. Now, there has been one example as far as the highest sale in history of a 1977 Philadelphia coin was actually not a 67 plus at all. Okay, no 67 pluses have made it out into the open market. A Mint State 67 example sold on Heritage Auctions November 6th of 2014 in the amount of $1,116. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but then again, this is not the top grade, but it just goes to show you that even coins that are half a point graded lower still command a nice, good deal of money. All right. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Denver minted coins. Okay, that's what you see flashed up on screen. The first thing you'll notice, in comparison to the Philadelphia minted coin, you do have that physical D mint mark that's right above the date. In addition, you'll also notice that this particular example exhibits a relatively nicer strike. You do have better luster on this coin in comparison to the Philadelphia minted coins. In history, Denver usually produces some really nicer quality coins. Their quality control systems are just much more tighter. Therefore, we see just a higher volume of nicer coins out in circulation. So the Denver Mint produced 31,449,106 total pieces during that time. In terms of grading, PCGS has assigned only one coin as a Mint State 68. That particular example, by the way, has never seen the open market, but PCGS has a guide value on this coin in this grade of $4,000. Okay, so there's one in existence, never made available to public sale. This is a coin right here that everyone should look for, because this particular example right here, it's only going to be one as long as nobody sends them out for grading. And there are nice examples of these coins out there to be had, because candy half dollars just simply does not circulate. Okay, people just go through rolls and the rolls go back to the bank, and then repeat the process. So those are the two business strike coins that I just kind of want to cover in a general sense. There is one notable variety that I wanted to draw your attention to, and that's actually a 1977D doubled die obverse. It is also referred to as an FS101. That's the Cherry Picker's Guide variety catalog number. As you can see on this coin right here, your doubling is going to occur mostly on the words "In God We Trust." Okay, it shows up nicer on some of the more well-struck examples, which are few and far between. It is very similar to the 1971D double die obverse. However, they are probably about 10 times as rare, and therefore they command a little bit more of a secondary market. Now, there was one notable sale on Great Collections back January 24 of 2016. This example is a PCGS Mint State 64, and it's sold for $825. Now, 64 is kind of like that median grade, all right? It's not super high tier, it's not the lowest, but it's like right in the middle. If you were to go through a BU roll of 77 candy half dollars, it would be a toss-up on whether or not most of the coins would fall in that Mint State 64 to 65 category. So that's the big variety for this particular date. One in which not a lot of people actually know about, but it's certainly worth taking a second look, whether it's a low-grade example or one that's in higher grade fashion. So there are a number of errors that I also wanted to talk about that maybe you might come across as you go through your rolls. All right, aside from the nice grades, aside from the double dies and the missing initials on the reverse type varieties for this series, there are also some pretty under the radar errors that you should keep an eye out on. Not specifically to this date, but all of the 77s that we're talking about are these errors, but there are also other coins that exist in different denominations that have similar attributes as these. So the first one I wanted to talk about on the list is this 1977D. This one is got a pretty nice size clipped. It's actually 18% off-center clipped. It also features an uncentered broad strike, as you can see with the extra amount of rim material toward the bottom of the coin. This is a nice graded PCGS Mint State 66 Plus, and this one sold on Heritage Auctions August 6th of 2017 in the amount of $188. Clip coins, traditionally, are some of the more common errors that we come across in pocket change and in coin rolls. This one, although it's a lot bigger, even coins like you're going to see here on the next example feature some actually smaller clips, and these are all pretty valuable as kind of like a low end kind of price point wise for getting into errors. So the next one right here, case in point, is going to be this 1977 candy half dollar. They exhibits three relatively shallow clips. All right, these are coins that traditionally I have come across in rolls and change, not only in half dollars but all denominations. This is a nice pleasing NGC Mint State 66 example, and guess what, for this kind of coin right here, it sold for $50 on Heritage Auctions January 9th of 2011. So it's very affordable, but it still carries value. Okay, kind of nice. It's like kind of like that happy medium. You know, it's like, oh, I'm trying to just look strictly for the $1,000 coins, and you know, you can't kind of overstep these smaller varieties because they still carry a nice value. So the third coin that I want to highlight on the errors list is going to be the 77D. This one is double struck. The second strike is off center, actually to the left of the coin, as you see here. This one's crazy. Okay, it's an NGC AU58, which indicates that it's seen some sort of circulation. It's kind of hard to comprehend this thing even finding any time in circulation because of how dramatic the off-center double strike is on this coin. But this one sold on Heritage Auctions January 10th of 2009 for $488.75. Pretty nice example here, and it's really not too expensive for a coin that exhibits you know, one of the more desirable error features out there. So we are going to end it off on two big ones. The next one that we have here is going to be a 1977. This one's crazy. This one was actually struck on an already struck 1976 Jefferson Nickel. What I like most about this coin, okay, is you could see very clearly a lot of the underlying elements of the previous Jefferson Nickel strike, and then you see some of the overlap of the candy half dollar. You kind of put them both together and you have a coin that is probably one of the most desired, one of the most dramatic. It's a great statement piece for any error collection. This one right here sold on Heritage Auctions January 6th of 2016, so it's a recent sale, for $6,168.75. What it really boils down to, are you going to find something like this in candy half dollar rolls? I don't know. Seeing as how it's more in the size of a nickel, you might have a chance to find something like this in a nickel roll or perhaps a quarter roll, because you know, when it's struck again on this nickel, it stretches it out a little bit. But this one's incredible, one in which I'd like to own, and I actually wanted to put this coin dead last as being the big one. But there was one other coin that I have talked about in previous episodes, and it's worth mentioning, the 1977D example that you see here that was struck on a 40% silver planchet. So let me go ahead and explain why this one even exists in the annals of error collecting. For those of you that don't know, in 1976, during that bicentennial year, the U.S. Mint actually produced 40% variants in silver of the quarter, the candy half dollar, and the Eisenhower dollar, all made available in one kind of like special mint set in which all three coins are featured in a plastic Pleo film. All right, some of you have probably seen it. The coin set by themselves typically retail for between $12 and $15 on the secondary market. But this one right here was inadvertently struck on one of those 40% silver planchets from the outgoing year of the bicentennial candy half dollar. What's even more special about this coin is that it is an NGC graded AU58. This came right out of change. Not so much change, but actually a coin roll. Someone had come across this coin in coin roll hunting activities. They ripped open a roll and saw something that looked 40% silver. They put it aside. Somewhere down the line, they ended up getting it authenticated by a third-party grader, and NGC actually got this one. But you have a coin which they affectionately refer to it as a transitional error. Okay, so you have a transition from one composition to another, and they inadvertently strike the new coins in the old composition. Now, the 1976 bicentennial 40% silver was a one-year shot to help commemorate the event of the bicentennial, of course, which is one of the most popular, sorry, I'm tripping over my tongue here, but most popular design in U.S. coinage history. So this coin right here sold for $6,600 on Heritage Auctions, April 26 of 2018. Proof positive that some of the biggest, most valuable coins still do exist out there. Okay, this one right here was no exception. Given the grade and its circulated look, as you can see on film here, this coin was obviously pulled right out of a roll. So pretty incredible stuff, but there you go. That's going to wrap up my my expose on the 1977 Kennedy half dollars. As you guys can see, there is a lot of stuff to find in this particular date. The 77D double die obverse is one of those doubling type coins, the cherry pickers guide varieties that most people just don't care about, but they're stepping over a $20 or $40 payout in lieu of trying to find a $2.50 40% silver half. I just don't get it. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up on this one. Would love to hear you guys' comments. What did you like most about this video and this particular date? It's a really interesting date, okay, with a lot going for it. Keep an eye out on some of these neat errors and varieties. Thank you guys for joining. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for instant notifications. Make sure you set your settings on public so that way you do receive the notifications. I want to thank you guys again for joining in. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Happy hunting, and I'll see you next time.